For something a little bit different, we're going to have a board meeting in a boardroom for once. Welcome to my boardroom. You may be asking why I need so many surfboards. There is no one size fits all approach to surfing, and every board is suited towards different conditions. And each one of these boards has either won an event or won a world title. I don't just keep boards for sentimental sake, or maybe a couple. I do have about 73 in here and about 36 at home. But this particular board right here was the board that I won my 6th consecutive world title on. And when I look at it now, I go, how did I ride this thing? It was so narrow and so thin, but it was gold. And it was made particularly for the Hawaiian waters that I was surfing in at Honolulu Bay. Honolulu Bay, man, Honolulu Bay. Honolulu Bay holds a very special place in my heart because it's also where I won my 7th world title. Now this one's really long because the waves were a lot bigger, but this was perfect for these big, barreling waves that I was surfing in Honolulu Bay. I actually scored some pretty good waves on this board. It was epic. When we tow into those really big waves, we have things called tow-in boards. Now, my regular surfboard, for example, weighs about 2 kilos, maybe 2.5, but my tow boards weighs about 20 odd kilos. I don't know if you heard me counting, but I'm up to almost 1,000. I actually have a Guinness Book of World Records riding this towboard. So tow-in surfing requires no paddling, but you towed in by a jet ski and you're going really fast. So that's why you need really heavy boards to keep the board in the water. But the Guinness Book of World Record that I won on this, the person who's been towed the fastest on a surfboard by a car. 1998. And that was the year I won my first world title. So I was on a bit of a roll that year. Ken had made me some really magic boards, and this was one of them. And even though the waves were really, really small, because of the shape of the tail and the width of the board, I was able to maneuver this in really, really small waves. I was actually able to surf better than the guys that year because the waves were that bad. So I won the Coke Classic, 2nd of 5 events that I won that year. It was a really dominating performance, and then I was able to go on and claim my first world title in emphatic fashion with the most amount of points margin between 1st and 2nd and the earliest in the season that I believe anyone else has won a world title. So I was pretty proud of that. And this was one of those little magic boards that just delivered the goods when I needed it to. And the secret weapon that I had to claim my 8th world title was yellow. It's all about the yellow. You know, a few barrel rolls, a bit of drop knee, take the drop. I dominated on this thing. That's some of the stories of my boardroom. It's been a wonderful trip down memory lane.